Back again, let's do some more perspective cubes and some more puzzlers. When I was in school at LSU, I really loved these. I was in a drawing program, I was in graduate school, and Walter Rutkowski taught us how to do these. It was part of the object drawing class, and his students could really draw well, and I saw how this helped his students draw. No matter what, his students always did better than any of the graduate students or any of the other teachers in terms of object drawing. So I thought there must be something to this. Okay, let's do our basic cube, basic Bauhaus cube. Let's take it one step further than we did last time. And this part right here, you should be able to do this in 20 seconds. All lines, 8 to 12 strokes, boom, in 20 seconds, super fast. It might not be accurate, but we can drill it and drill it, drill it, and then where you get a nice cube, then we have 2 minutes and 40 seconds bonus to perfect it. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of physical control to do this. But that's something, through repetition, you can develop that physical control. Okay, so we've got our cube on eye level. And let's try something. Let's say we're going to manipulate this side here. Let's say let's do a waffle grid like that. And this is in 2 dimensions, but let's erase that. Let's erase this. Oh yeah, keep that. I'm turning it into an H. So if I forget what it is, please remind me. Yell it out really loud. So we're turning it into an H. See how that waffle grid here turned into an H? And from what I understand, that goes back to the Bauhaus. It looks like a Rubik's Cube, doesn't it? That was a Russian thing, but they did these in the Bauhaus. So can we put the H on there? Like we did before, we can describe that surface, but notice there's stuff missing. Chunks have been taken out. So can we subtract away from the surface? Like magically take stuff away there. So all right, step 1, let's put this on the plane. The outside edge here is already there. It's already there. All right. And remember what I did. I had that waffle grid. I don't know if they call that in the Bauhaus, but that's what I call it, the waffle grid. So let's analyze. Here, this line is this line. And this point and this point, we can eyeball it out, or we can physically measure those 2 points, or the point and that point. So we make sure that, and that are the same distance, because it's the same distance here. Okay, so let's shoot it to the vanishing point. Shoot it to the vanishing point. And now let's put a vertical line here, and a vertical line here. Now this is in 3 dimensions. These spaces, here, here, and here, are equal. But it should get a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller as you go back. And we want that to be vertical. We want that to be vertical. All right. All right, now let me clean it up a little bit. Now, so we've got that on there. Let's do the next step. Let's subtract on the surface. When you do this with your ebony pencil on newsprint paper, you don't need to erase, because the first lines are done lightly, and then you can darken it. With the ebony pencil, you have more dynamic range than these grease markers that I have here. So you don't have to erase very much. But okay, we've taken that away. We've taken that away too. So the plane is describes something's taken away right there. Now let's make it 3-dimensional. So if this was a big H, and I don't think they did it for Houston in the Bauhaus, but it happens to be a good letter to use for this. How do we draw the inside of that? Think about that. You can pause it right now and draw it on your paper and see if you do it the same way that I do it. So there's a chunk of stuff that's coming out here and here, but something's missing. Okay, are you back? Okay, let's. And remember these lines? This line right here, X-ray vision going all the way back precisely to right there. See, no rulers. Don't need rulers. We can do this by hand in physical control. These orthogonals have a relationship. Parallel lines go to the same vanishing point, whether they're visible or invisible, or you see the whole part or just part of it. If it's parallel, it goes to the same vanishing point. I like these puzzlers. All right, so there's our H. And this is an H on eye level. See, the eye level is coming through here. So we can't see the top of the crossbar or the bottom of the crossbar. If we can't see it, we're not going to draw it, but it's good to know that it's there and why we can't see it, because of that eye level. All right, let's continue rolling. Let's try, well, can you do it below eye level? Yes, we can. We can do it above eye level, below eye level. We can turn it sideways. We can stretch it out. We can do we can do any letter or number. We can even do cylinders. All right, let's put the horizon high, and we do our basic Bauhaus cube. And the lower the better. The more room here, the better. If there's a small amount of room, it gets all cramped in there. It's hard to see. So we've done this before, and it takes a lot of practice and repetition so that you have physical control, intellectual control to know when things get complicated, that you know the procedure there. And if you have to do it, 30 times a day, 3 minutes each, you can master it. All right, so the basic cube below eye level. So we don't want it leaning, we don't want it marshmallowy, we want the verticals vertical, and we want the orthogonals going to the vanishing point. A bit about these orthogonals. Do you know your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s? Here's A, B, C. And here's, we could call it 1, 2, 3. Do you see, I could have a string. We could take a string, pull it straight, and we would know if it's correct or not. It's objective drawing. It's object drawing. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You could call those ABCs, you could call those ABCs, but they have a relationship. They're together. And then the vertical lines. So we want to put the H on this side again. All right, so let's put this, use pink here. Use that same procedure so we can test it. If it's a little bit off, it's okay. And let's follow that same procedure to get those lines here. So we'll put the waffle grid on it first. And we want these to diminish in size. Make this space a little bit less, this a little bit more. Just slightly less. All right, now let's H it out. So erase out that H. And on your paper, you have that graphite drawing, you have the ebony pencil. Keep these preliminary lines light, then you can make it a little darker, medium. Those pencils go very dark. Then you can darken it out. I'll do this. So we have the H here. So let's keep everything nice, neat, organized as we proceed through the steps. So we've got the H marked on the surface. Now how do we work this top? Because that channel, there's stuff coming out. It's a block H with space all the way through. And so the bottom here is almost finished. It's very similar to what we have here. So let's come down. And that gives us our line. See, come down, that gives us our line. And we can erase the orthogonal. And we want that line to shoot right to the vanishing point, not here or there, or we want it to be precise to there. Okay, now a good rule is to start with what's closest to you. So here, this is closest to me, so this point is the next closest, so that's going to go here. See the relationship? This line is parallel to this line and this line and this line. So it goes to the same vanishing point. Then we move along. Here we have this one. You can imagine this almost collinear there. But that's finished. It's short. If it's really low or if this is really short, you can see that line all the way to the back. All right, then we move along to this one, and here, this goes here. And where this line, if it goes right there, where this line crosses that, it creates the point which relates to that. Let's clean this up so you can get a good look. Let's do it right. Okay, it's finished, almost finished. Is it finished? What's missing? The final, where does that go? It's not parallel, it goes straight down. It's a vertical. It has a relationship to this and the other verticals. So remember, in this, parallel lines go to a vanishing point or a vertical, nothing else. So there's the H below eye level, the H on eye level, and here's the H below eye level. We could turn the paper over and magically be floating in the air, or we could draw it that way if we wanted. Could you turn the H sideways? Could you put this on the other plane instead, or turn it? Yes, you can. You could do any letters. Try T's or Z's. Could you do an S with this? Could you figure out an S? All right, that's all for this one. See you next time.